We're on our way to Laughlin from Albuquerque, from the Route 66 casino. So along the way, we were looking in the Arizona Rock and Gem book, and there's supposed to be some petrified wood outside of Holbrook along this road here. If you get the book, you'll see a couple spots where you can find it. So we're going to stop here for a few minutes because we're kind of behind schedule and see if we can find anything. So I'll get back to you and show you if we did find anything. We're just going to walk along the edge of this fence line between that and the road and see if we can just pick up something real quick. We don't have a lot of time to spend here. So we'll be back in a little bit. Yeah, that looks like a piece right there. Kind of rough looking. Grab it. Yeah, that's a piece. You can see the yellow in it. Red. Yeah, I might be able to make something out of that. That's nice. Alright, well, keep looking along here. Where there's one, there's usually a couple more. I don't know what that is, but it looks like bone or something. Looks like somebody just put it there. Sitting right between that rock and whatever that stuff is. It's fossilized. It's like part of a backbone. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Definitely some kind of a fossil. Well, we'll keep looking. Did you find anything?
No.
Huh?
No.
You didn't find anything?
Like slot machines.
You're going to have luck like the slot machines.
No,
You didn't
I
find any
this.
money.
No.
No, that's nothing.
A rock with a hole
That's just
in
a rock.
With a hole in and then a red rock.
Red rock, because we're right close to Red Rock, right?
Yes, red rock.
No, that's nothing. I got a few.
And a rock with a hole. I like rock like that.
Yeah, with a hole in it.
Yeah.
You want one with a hole go all the way through.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, I'll show you what I got, and we'll get going. We're running late. We got to get to Laughlin. We're going to metal detect. Use Laughlin for our base and go out metal detecting. And we played last year. We got comp rooms now. We got some comp rooms, so it won't cost us anything to stay there, which is kind of neat.
You're going to let us in, dirty pants?
Yeah, we get too dirty. We can't go in, huh?
No.
I'll show them the rocks. Here's what we found. I think it's that first one I showed you. It's got some reds and yellows in it. And we didn't spend a lot of time here. This one's mostly like reds. Probably I'll make something out of this. Just small pieces. We didn't find any really large pieces. You got that one there. You can see the greens of the outside of the wood. And there's that piece of bone that's fossilized. We don't. What do you think it is?
Some kind of bone.
Some kind of bone. That's a nice piece.
Looks like the backbone, the spine.
Yeah. Funny, it was just sitting there.
Yeah.
Like somebody put it right there for me to
I had
find.
these. You made me throw them back.
Not exactly like that. You didn't have them. Yours were all smooth. You were just rocks. These just little ones.
This one's
See the
pretty.
yellow in it? Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty one. Maybe I can make a cabochon out of that, maybe. Well, we're back from our trip out west to Arizona, and I'm going to take a piece of that petrified wood we found along the way and see if I can make a cabochon out of it. The first thing I got to do is grind a flat spot on it so I can glue it up in that fixture I have and cut it in a slab saw. So I'm going to go and grind that flat spot in, and I'll have to glue one of those bolts on, and we'll stick it in the slab saw and cut some small slabs. This is a silicon carbide wheel, so I'll grind a flat spot on it. Well, I got the piece of petrified wood glued up in our fixture. You can see it's glued to one of those garage door bolts. It's the same method I used to cut the Apache tears, which you can check out in our Apache tears video. But it works out real well because it's the only way except for gluing it to a 2x4, but this holds it just as well. It's a lot quicker and easier to do. And we'll give it a shot. We'll take it out in the slab saw and see what they look like. Well, I got the piece of petrified wood in the vise in the slab saw, and we'll start cutting the slab. First I'll cut the end off, then we'll cut the slabs. Well, I got the end cut off. Well, it looks pretty good. Looks like there's some yellows in there and reds. So I'll put the hood back on and we'll cut a slab, maybe about 3/16 to 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, it looks like my oil turned green from the Chrysocolla cut. Well, here's one of those slabs I cut from the piece of petrified wood, and it's about 3/16 of an inch thick. So what I'm going to do now is try to find one of my patterns that I've used before that'll fit on this piece of petrified wood, and I'll trace it with a Sharpie and we can start working on it. Well, I use this pattern here that almost fits the whole stone, so I won't waste too much of the stone, and I marked it out with this ultra-fine Sharpie. Now what I'll do is draw some guidelines on here. I'll trim it out on the trim saw. Now we're going to start out on the 80 grit wheel to shape this cabochon. Well, it's all shaped now, so all we got to do now is dome it. And I might do it both sides. I don't know if I got enough stone there to do that, but it's kind of nice when you do it both sides. What I also do, I put some guidelines on the side of these cabochons, so I try to get them symmetrical. So I'll just put some of those on there. I put a couple sets of them. Well, it worked out pretty good. I didn't blow the back out. So I'll go back to doming the cabochon now. We start out with a steep angle. Try to do both sides, so I'll flip it over. Well, I got it all domed, there's not much each side because I'm doing both sides because there's not that much material, so it's just domed a little bit. Now I'm going to polish it, and I'll start with the 220 grit wheel, then work my way down all the way to a polish. I'll use 100,000 paste to polish it at the end. So we'll get to it now. So this is a 600 grit wheel. And basically we get to each progression. If you're doing the same thing, just keeping the cabochon moving and try to cover the whole stone. So what I'll do, instead of keep going from one wheel to the next, I'll just get back here when we're done with this cabochon. And let me see what it looks like. Well, this is the finished stone, and as you can see, it took a fairly good shine. And I did both sides, because the reason I do both sides, sometimes I'll start out and I figure I'm going to just do a particular side, and it turns out the other side would look better. So I ended up doing both sides all the time. And another thing, when you're doing petrified wood, on this particular piece, the reddish part is a lot harder than the yellow down here. So when you're working with the stone, you got to put less pressure on the bottom here than up on the reddish part, else you'll put flat spots in it. But this is an example of what you can do on your trip. We were just heading to Laughlin, and we carried that rock and gem books with us. Looked there and we found a spot where they said it was petrified wood, and we had a few minutes, so we only stopped there like 20 minutes. And you pick up something like this, and I usually make a piece of jewelry for Joyce. It's kind of a sort of like a souvenir, I guess, to remember the trip. So if you enjoy our videos, we appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching.